Hello. EURUSD live CPI Thursday, the 10th of October 2024 market direction with entry, stop loss, and the take profit. And remember, on this very live stream, I'll be having a free giveaway. So be sure to stick around and stay on this live stream so that you do not miss out on that. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to whoever is joining right now. You know that every Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. my local time, that's East African time, or if you're using the New York time, that's exactly at 1:30 a.m. I get onto these live streams to be able to share with you what I believe the direction of the day is going to be like on the EURUSD. Now, if you do not know, the EURUSD is the world's most traded pair. It is the world's most traded Forex pair. So what does this mean? It means so many transactions happen on this particular pair. And I like it because it's a bit more stable, especially if you are someone out there and you're just a beginner. This is one of the most stable pairs that I would highly recommend you actually try trading, because it's very stable in the right way, especially for a beginner. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you to whoever is joining right now. I greatly appreciate you taking your time and joining me on these live streams every Monday to Friday. So for me to be able to call these directions of the day, I basically use my 50% win rate strategy that gives me a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio. This definitely keeps me profitable all year round. Every single month, I end the month profitable. And it's one of those things that I've found to be very helpful in my trading journey, because I was able to find a strategy that only and only gives me one setup a day. And it's basically where most of the times the direction of the day is on the EURUSD. So if you're out there and you lack a particular strategy that is profitable, this is definitely a strategy that you can take yourself home with and, go back test it so that you're able to make it your very own. It's a very simple strategy, and I'm going to be sharing it for free, or I'm going to be showing you and sharing exactly how I trade this strategy for free right here on this live stream. So thank you so much to whoever is joining right now. Thank you for joining me every Monday to Friday as I unpack and share with you guys what I believe the direction of the day is going to be like on the EURUSD. So if you're out there and you lack clarity when it comes to the day, or basically the daily bias, definitely this is the live stream that you should be catching every single day. So today is CPI. Hope you guys are excited. Hope you're expecting great things. For me, when it comes to news, I'm not someone who trades news, but I'm someone who likes to manage my trades through the news events. And basically, this is how I do it, and it's how I've done it for the longest time. So if you're someone out there and you lack clarity when it comes to how exactly you should be managing your trades through the news events, definitely I'm going to be showing you and sharing exactly how I do this on a day-to-day basis. So thank you to whoever's joining right now. I appreciate you taking your time and joining me every Monday to Friday as I unpack and share exactly what I believe the direction of the day is on the EURUSD. So before I even get onto the charts, usually there's some kind of routine that I go through, and one of those things I like to do is basically getting to know what basically the fundamentals of the day are going to be like. So let me try and share my screen so that you guys can be able to see exactly what I'll be seeing on my end. So basically, when it comes to fundamentals, the website I like to use is this right here. It's called forexfactory.com, and this is the website I usually go to when I want to see or want to know exactly what the fundamentals of the day look like. And today, which is October the 10th, 2024, Thursday, we do have CPI, and that will be dropping exactly at 3:30 p.m. That's my local time, East African time. Or if you're using New York time, that will be exactly at 8:30 a.m. So CPI will be dropping. It's the monthly report, and then they'll also be sharing an annual report on CPI. So basically, yeah, so if you're someone who trades news, probably this is something to get you excited. But for me, when it comes to these red folder news events, I do not trade news. But what I do is basically manage my trades through these news events. So if I have a trade on, I'd like to manage it very well through these news events. And how I do this is basically I actually wait for at least 5 minutes before these news events drop. And then what I like to do is go to the chart at least 5 minutes before the news event drops. And then I go to the chart and move my stop to break even, so that as this news drops, you know that as the news drops, most of the times it's too volatile. You know, there's volatile price movements. It can move up, down sporadically. And sometimes if that particular trend happens to go against you, if it happens to go against your position, you might end up, you know, losing more than you earlier anticipated to lose on that particular trade. So for you not to be caught by this, or for you not to get slipped, just the way these brokers usually do it, if you don't want this to happen to you, is basically manage your trades through these news events. So because sometimes you might end up getting slipped maybe 10 pips more than what you earlier anticipated to risk on that particular trade. If you, let's say, said on this particular trade, I only want to risk maybe, let's say 10 pips is my maximum risk on this particular trade, and that particular trade happens to go against you, you might end up, you know, getting slipped maybe 10 pips more or 15 pips more. This always happens, guys. So for you to avoid such problems, what I highly recommend you do is actually, you know, manage your trades well. And in a way of managing your trades, I urge you to actually, you know, be able to move your stop to break even as these news events drop. So once you've moved your stop to break even, when the news drops, you are not massively hit by this volatility in the market. So maybe 10, 15 minutes after the news has dropped or has basically ended, this is when you move your stop back to full risk. So basically, this is what I recommend. And now getting back into the strategy, the kind of strategy, it is a very simple strategy that I use. And maybe before we even get to the strategy, you can see right here, the news will be dropping at exactly 3:30 p.m. my local time. So what does this mean? At 3:25, this is when I'll be moving my stop to break even. In case I do have a trade on, I'll move my stop to break even so that I don't get caught by this news, you know, volatility. And then the other thing I basically filtered this website to only show me the red folder news events. And what I did is basically come to this filter tool, this right here, and then I basically chose the red folder news events, and then basically the entire field I selected it. And then when it comes to the currencies, I only selected out the euro and the United States dollars, because that's exactly what I trade. So basically, I'm always updated on the red folder news events of the day. So today we have CPI, and I'm super excited because sometimes this is a big catalyst when it comes to price movement. Once the news drops, then price gets to fill into the right, you know, the right places or the right positions. It closes some imbalances, which balances the markets in the market in some way. So getting onto the chart, when it comes to the strategy that I trade, it's a very simple strategy. It is a very simple strategy that I believe even a complete beginner can be able to understand the strategy. Reason being, this is a strategy that uses only and only price action from the previous day. So if we do have a previous day's 9th of October 2024, we can clearly see this was price action from yesterday. It was very bearish. So what I look out for when it comes to price action from the previous day, what I like to look out for is basically areas of interest. An area of interest can either be an order block, or it can be a fair value gap, or this can actually be equal highs or equal lows from the previous day, because what price always likes to do is basically on the next day it likes to tap back into these areas of interest, and then once it has tapped into these areas of interest, this is when price likes to move in the reverse direction, and it reverses that particular position. So basically, this is how I crafted the strategy, and it's a very simple strategy. I'm telling you guys, it's a very simple strategy that I believe even a complete beginner can be able to trade this same exact strategy. So yeah, so we are going to be looking at exactly, you can see this is what price gave us for yesterday. It was a very bearish day. So what do I look out for here now? When it comes to areas of interest, when I see this is the high from yesterday at around 1.09806, it's actually 1.09811. So that was the high of the day yesterday. So what does this mean for us? So basically, having this as the high of the day, we can see that price moved and then it changed character right here, leading to this formation of this pair of this order block right here. So what price usually likes to do is basically get back into such an area. So of course, today being the 10th of October 2024, this is obviously a long shot, because we can see that it's almost 40 pips, but being a day of CPI, anything can happen. I'm telling you, anything can happen. So so this is what I would expect price to do for today. I would expect a reversal maybe around here. So let me try and mark this out. I would expect a reversal after price has taken out any of the stops resting above there, or any of the liquidity resting above there. I would expect price to, reverse when it has taken that out. That is, if that happens, or the other scenario I would look at is basically price. So if we look at the low from yesterday, this was the low from yesterday, and we don't see any area of interest on the low from the low of the day yesterday. And area of interest, remember, we're looking out for an order block, a fair value gap, or even equal highs or equal lows. We don't see any of that having formed from yesterday when it comes to the low from yesterday. So so basically what I'll be looking at then will be only and only the low of the Asian session today. So another case scenario would be looking at price taking out this low of the Asian session, price to reverse to that other opposite direction. So basically, this is what I'm going to be looking at, or these are the key levels I'm looking out for when it comes to reversals on the Euro USD today. So once price taps into these areas, you can clearly see this is on the 1 hour time frame. But once price gets either to this level at 1.09811, or this other level here at 1.09370, once price gets to any of these levels, or whichever level it gets to first, once price gets to that level, I'll be actually dropping down to the 5-minute time frame so that I take an entry, or I make an entry in the market. So basically, this is what I'm going to be looking out for today, the 10th of October 2024. Now, for me to be able to make any entry, I remember I drop down to the 5-minute time frame, and what I look out for is for price to form what I call an inversion fair value gap. An inversion fair value gap is when price basically overlaps a previously existing fair value gap. So if we, let's say, had a bearish fair value gap and the bullish candle comes, closes that bearish candle, basically what happens or what ends up happening is that I like to take my entry right there and then, because this is a signal to me that price is now moving in that other direction, especially after stripping liquidity just the way we've marked it out right there. So basically, this is what I'm going to be looking at for today, or this is what I'm looking out for. You can let me know down in the comments exactly what you think or feel about this. I'll be gladly waiting to see exactly what you guys are saying about this. And as well, you can let me know exactly where you're watching or catching this from. I'll be gladly waiting to know exactly where you're doing, or basically where you trade from. So basically, this is it. In case you do have any questions for me, you can go ahead, leave them in the comment section. I'll be getting ready to answer some of those questions, especially if they are trading related. And then the other thing, I'm urging you all to actually have good risk management in place. Do not, go YOLO. Don't live for once. Don't live for today only, because I know so many, beginner traders or would-be traders, they tend to over risk on their trades, thinking that particular trade is what is going to maybe change their lives or, make them rich. Guys, this is not how trading works. Trading is a slow and steady game. You must be able to compound the small wins. You take trade by trade by trade, and then a series of trades, maybe 10 trades, 20 trades. This is when you're going to start, evaluating yourself to see, am I really making profits from the market or I'm losing? So this is how you're going to do it. And it's how I expect you to be doing it. Don't over risk on your trades. And then also there are those minor errors that especially new beginners make, because maybe sometimes instead of tapping buy, you tap sell because of maybe, I don't know, anxiety or, that pressure you put on yourself. You try and, do things in a hurried way. Do not rush. Don't rush anything. Let price come to you and then execute. If possible, utilize buy limits and sell limits. These will, these types of orders, they will help you a lot, because you just set it and forget. Wait for price to actually come to that particular level you've set out. So basically, this is it. I hope you do have some questions for me. In case you do, leave them down in the comment section. I'll be gladly answering you back, my people. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a great day. Bye.